Okay, during the stream.
Oh,
The stream.
don't click leave meeting.
That's always the 50-50 chance, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Dark patterns.
Here we go. All
So
right.
why are we all so muddled today? We might as well start with the
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, I think, are we live yet? I think we're live.
We are live.
We have been live for a bit, I think.
No, we've been live for about 10 seconds.
All right.
All right. Bloody hell. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome. We are in a bit of a muddle, yes, because it is that time of year. It's August. It's August.
It's my time in the month, Sheva. What can I say?
Mate.
Condolences, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah,
how do I follow that? Come on. Okay, so yeah, welcome. Everybody. Hello. We are here. What are we doing today? We are, well, we're not out of office, but it is August, where there's a lot of people out of office, and that's what we're talking about today. Is how do you work with incomplete teams? You know, it can be quite an interesting time of year. That and Christmas, where you know you've got projects to finish and things to do and people to see, but they're not there. They're out of office.
There they are.
So,
And every time you send a meeting request, even for a meeting that is like a month in the future, you get 4 automatic out of office reply. Dear sender, I am not in. And I'm like, I know you're not in. Stop sending me automatic out of office replies.
you know what? Today we have somebody in the office with it. That is Hannah. So we are the full complement and everything like that. We have everybody today, and so yeah, let's start the introductions with Hannah. Go.
Yeah, hello. My name is Hannah Schlander, and I work as a quality catalyst at Devo Team Creative Tech. Currently on maternity leave. I might have to dodge on and off a little bit because I've got a baby and the babysitter right next to me. But I'm gonna try to, well, be here as much as possible.
You have warned the babysitter about the content. Oh no, you've got headphones on. Okay, cool. You know, content warning always. Sana, go for it.
Hi, my name is Sana Visser. I am currently on holiday, which is interesting. And I work for Capgemini as generally a test manager or quality coach or some such. And I'll pass it on. I'll pass it on to Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Armstrong, as you can see by my lovely name that's somewhere underneath me. I've seen 4 job titles for myself since I started working at Qualitest. I've seen the word QA lead, project manager, delivery manager, and program director, but I'm a tester and I'm here to rant. Hooray!
That leaves me, I guess. My name is Veerle Verhagen. I am a former tester, current Scrum Master, and I need a holiday.
Oh mate. And so I'm Shay. I'm a senior quality engineering manager at EasyJet, and one of my feet is out the door right now because I am going on holiday today, just for one day, but I shall be out of the office very, very shortly.
Well done.
Yeah, and we've got people on who are out of the office. We've got Neil with us today, who's already said he's out of the office and got sketchy connections. And should we be connected if we're out of the office?
I don't know. I don't mind sometimes phoning in, but the one I find really scary these days that a lot of people do tend to do is that they dial in from their cars. And I really don't like that practice. I mean, park it and listen, that's fine, but like, don't attend meetings while driving is just a general thing, I think.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm on the fence with that one because, like, you know, isn't it this kind of the same as just chatting with people in the car?
It's not, actually. I read an article about it.
There we go.
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Oh, I didn't think this was a topic we were going to be talking about today, but there you go. When you are talking to a person, they give you information and you kind of have to make a mental image in your mind, or well, not everybody does that, but like a lot of people do that. You kind of process that information in your head, and some people do that like by creating images, but either way you're working on that information. When you are talking to someone on the phone, what your brain tends to do is not only does it process the information that person is giving you, you're also kind of creating the mental image of that person talking to you. So that's why they say that talking on the phone is more distracting and takes more concentration than talking to the person who's in the car with you. Yep. Although, like, to some degree, both are a little bit distracting, obviously. That's why on the bus, it has like a little notice that says, like, don't distract the driver.
You heard it. 9 out of 10 testers saving lives.
Yeah,
we've gone so off topic so quickly.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's there is a case, so I've worked for European companies, and that's always quite interesting, isn't it? Because, everybody tends to take like all of a month off, so there's nobody there. I mean, that's can be a bad thing. I mean, I started off saying, like, you're trying to get hold of people and they're out of the office. Is it necessarily a good thing? It could be a bad thing, good thing.
I think it's a good thing that people get off as much as they do. I mean, July and August are big vacation months here. I mean, not everyone takes a whole month. I think some people do, some people don't. And then there's the whole wave of folks that go off in September, October, because they don't want to be off in the busy period with people with kids. There you go, Fearless raising her hand. So it is kind of continuous, but I think the stereotype of Europe sort of grinding to a complete standstill every summer is pretty fair. I mean, I know productivity goes down. It does.
It does depend a little bit, I think, on how you arrange it. So like back in the days before I got into IT, I was in education. I worked for a language school in Italy, and the whole school just closed over August. So like nobody was there. Like the building wasn't open. Like it was just like, you want to work? Well, tough luck. You can't. So like that. And I think some of those industry grind to a complete standstill. And then currently in IT, like I just don't really think that applies. I don't really think that is true. And whether or not it is a bad thing that people are going to take like a few weeks, maybe up to a month or even more of holiday, I feel like if you arrange it in a way that the rest of the team can still get on, like it doesn't have to be a bad thing at all.
So it should be, if you plan it ahead, then maybe we can schedule it. We can allow for that in the schedule.
Yeah, but that's the rational thing to do. I mean, the people that I absolutely love, and I'm saying this sarcastically, are the ones that go like, hey, I'm taking 2 weeks off as of tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
I'm like, hang on. We have a sprint going, or we're working in a way that needs you to be here. We planned for you in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I think that's the main point then. Like you have to, at least for my team, that's the rule. Like you have to announce it at least a sprint in advance so that we can plan for it. And like, obviously, if you're working on things that nobody else knows anything about or that nobody else has knowledge of, like obviously do a little bit of a handover. So I guess it's really all down to planning for it. Like I absolutely think any team shouldn't rely on one person so much that they can't take even a couple of months of holiday. Like I feel like if you've got a good team, if your organization is good, then everybody should be able to take that much holiday. Like we're all about T-shaping, we're all about cross-functional teams, but then suddenly that one person can't take a holiday of over 3 weeks because the sprint's gonna fail. Like no, in that case I feel like your starting point is off already.
Deborah's raised the term that we all love to hate. Are a single point of failure.
I like to call that person the bus person, because you know about the bus factor, right? If one person on the team gets hit by a bus, like could the rest of the team still function?
The bus
factor. I like the lottery one. If they win the lottery, they're gone, isn't it? So
that's so much more positive than mine.
It's much more positive. The hit by the bus thing, I've always hated that, because it's like I don't mind being the single point of failure. If I win the freaking lottery, But if I'm going to hit by a bus, I don't really want to be that single point of failure, you know?
All right, okay. I'll start calling it the lottery person from now on.
Yeah, or run off to the circus. Yeah. I like. Yeah. One would. I mean, yeah. Well, one person has worked for EasyJet. One might argue that I have run to the circus. But anyway, that's another meeting.
Sorry, Simon.
Yeah. yeah. So yeah. I mean, like, you know, you talk about single point of failure. I mean, from a leader, that can be quite a daunting thing as well. Not wanting to take time off in case it's discovered that they can do without you. You know.
Well, there's a bit of both, isn't there? I mean, you want to be missed, but you also want to be able to be out of office. There's a bit of both. Like, you know, you don't want to be so replaceable that like you're off and nothing actually changes. Whereas the other side of things that always scares me when somebody's off and actually things get better. That's the one that always terrifies me.
Ooh.
I've seen it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think everybody has. Yeah.
I've got experience, like quite a recent experience with experimenting with that. So like one particular role on our team we felt was overreaching a little bit, and like also like at the risk of getting really overworked. So that person took a full sprint holiday. Basically, they were going to take 2 weeks. We do 3-week sprints, and so we were like, why don't you take like the last week as well, because I think you need it, but also like it could be a really good experiment. And so then after that, I ran a little mini retro about the previous sprint to see like, okay, so what are tasks that we could, like, that the team can pick up themselves. This is about our product owner. Let's just name it by the name. We're like, what are tasks that the team can pick up themselves and have successfully picked up themselves? What are things that we really missed? And from his point of view, what looked good when you got back and what was a complete mess? And basically
nice.
And so by sorting that out, by basically going like, okay, this actually looked quite good. We kind of established things that the team clearly can do themselves, and we felt therefore maybe should. Whereas the things that were a mess, we were like, okay, clearly we need help there. And I thought that was actually a really nice way of trying to establish like, okay, so what actually is it that we need from him? Because we do see him like pick up maybe more work than is necessary, and it's like, it's bad for everyone. So this was a really nice experiment, and it would have been really difficult to run it in any other situation, because like you could tell a person like, oh, maybe you shouldn't feel so responsible for this or that, but like it doesn't work that way. So I thought that was actually kind of cool.
You smashed a few assumptions there, really, didn't you? Like by running that experiment, because you can always, there's a lot of fear associated with those sorts of things, being away or what if. And you not only did you smash some assumptions that people can do it, but you talked about it in such a positive manner at the end. That's a brilliant way to handle it.
Yeah, like I felt almost bad about running the retro like that. And I made it clear on like various occasions, like this is not an opportunity to establish that this person doesn't do anything useful for us or whatever. Like this is absolutely a chance for us together to figure out, okay, how can we lighten your workload? Because as it was just too goddamn much.
You know, you're freaking me out because you're being so positive. Like both stories you've told so far are really good examples of like what you should do and how you should be thinking about working together. And I'm like, where the fuck are the rants? Where's the...
Does anyone, I don't know, like maybe somebody has like a good little story time or something. I don't know.
I'm too busy nodding with you.
I've got one.
Brilliant.
I've got one when somebody got away, right? So
story time jingle.
So we know that version control these days is a bit modern and fancy, and everyone's like allowed access to things. But it wasn't that long ago that it wasn't quite so fancy, and we used something called Visual Source Safe. Yeah, baby. And it was in Switzerland on somebody's personal machine, not personal machine, but their own machine, in the office. And they went on leave. They weren't even on our team, and yet we were completely reliant on them hosting our code base.
Oh no.
It was a wonderful situation. They went on leave. And as a Swiss person, they took a reasonably long leave over the summer. So we had to be quite creative It was visually source unsafe, Neil. You are correct. And in the end, that person not only sort of hindered and blocked us to do any particular progress, but also with them not being in our team or accountable to even doing that, they did it without telling us they were going away. We didn't know, and our boss didn't even know, and he was the one in the office with him in Switzerland. And our resolution to that, because this guy wasn't going to let us have access to it. It was a really bad situation in terms of access to toolings and all these things. In the end, it took one of my colleagues from Australia going physically to Switzerland, waiting for this chap to somehow disappear for a while, so he could put an external hard drive in to get hold of the source code. Because also, what I didn't tell you was that we would submit changes to him, he would review them and then either upload them to VSS or not, or reject them.
Wow.
And then he would distribute an executable to everybody. So we wouldn't actually get access to the code base to run it. And it took this guy going in and being external hard drive and uploading it onto Git himself. And, you know, the freedom that it allowed us was a little bit scary thereafter. But yeah, look, you know, that truly blocked people like from doing any progress at all. And we were still being judged KPIs and whatnot as a team, even though this guy wasn't in our team.
All right. Well, it's not a rant, but it's a little bit of a nerdy thing. As you all know, I love my notebooks. So one of the things that now I am also responsible for is
story time.
not necessarily somebody's code base, but it is things like approvals or putting in hours, because I do work for a big consultancy and I am a people manager. So there is stuff that I need to approve. And one of the things I started noticing as I got on in responsibilities, there were more and more things to do every time I go on leave. So I created a checklist. I'm so proud of it.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
That's really good.
So there's a whole bunch of obvious stuff on this, like put on your out of office, but it's also like putting yourself on inactive on the Slacks and the Discords that I'm on. It's also like arranging for replacements and having the authorization transferred for somebody else to approve, like if someone requests something. And it's a whole bunch of stuff like that, but it's also things to save my sanity. It's like, you know, turn off your work phone, remove the work apps from your phone. It's also stuff like that. And it's just, I always made this list, but now it's like a checklist that just lives there, and it's just like I can keep adding to it, and I'm so excited about my fucking checklist. It worked so well as well last time.
You can't tick items off. You have to copy it every time.
No, I can just add a column. So you see there's the column for this holiday. I can just add the next one for the next one until it's full.
Oh my God,
So
go away. Oh my God, I can't.
I told you.
Software with columns that you could add each time. No, and let's not do that. But hang on. You switch off your mobile, your work mobile, when you're on holiday?
Yes.
But you're a manager.
Dude, I switch it off at 5.
When you're on holiday,
Every day.
you're meant to take it with you and you're meant to be available at all times.
It goes in the
That's
bag.
right.
I don't look at it.
I think some people are perfectly capable of being completely on vacation and have their work phones with them and on. I'm not one of those people. I do generally switch it back on, and I do have it doorgeschakeld. I don't even know how to say it. So for if somebody actually, yeah,
Forwarding.
Call divert.
call
Nice.
diverted. So but that's only for the people I manage, so that they can reach me in case of emergencies, because that's the only exception I would allow. So there's like 7 people that are diverted and everything else is just off.
Nice.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because this is my big problem is, like, I've been in work cultures where you go on holiday, or somebody goes on holiday, they go, oh yeah, I'm away for 2 weeks, but don't worry, I'm fully contactable. Give me a shot. I've got my work laptop with me. I've got my work phone with me. And I'm like, fuck off. I've got a family. The last thing I want to be doing is going, oh, sorry, daddy's working right now. Because that's what daddy does when he's not on freaking holiday.
I'm just going to assume those people hate their families.
yeah, they probably do. There is some escapism there, I'm sure, I think.
I think I've done that a bit. Well, when I was home the 2 days before giving birth, because I was so freaking bored. It was off work, but still like when I saw people asking questions on this like work Slack, I'm like, well, just look here. And they're like, Hannah, you're off. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm bored.
Yeah, so let me, and I think it's the kind of it's the social groups that especially I find distracting. It's not even necessarily the work questions, because then I can be just, I'm not there, guys, I'm on vacation, and if I don't feel like answering, I'm like, unless of course, like you said, I'm bored, it's like, go find it, I don't care. But it's the social chats that you're in, and I think Simon mentioned this in the chat, there's a lot of the WhatsApps and the kind of Slacks that you're in that are more fun, but they are still work, and it does distract. So that's one reason I never kept those two well separate until sort of my issue with burnout last year. I never had the issue before, but now I keep them strictly separated so that my
same.
private number is not in any of those work WhatsApp groups. It's
You know what? Like, I get so much shit at work for having like two separate phones. Everybody at the beginning, especially, was like, oh, what are you, like, it's dual SIM, like your work phone's dual SIM. Why'd you not just like put, because I told people that I was like buying a new phone for myself, and everybody would like, why would you buy a new phone for yourself? Like, just use your work one. I was like, no. And they were like,
I was one of those people, Verla. I was one of those. I would have criticized
were
this
ya?
shit. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. Mostly I remember my colleagues saying it, and then everybody goes like, oh yeah, but you can make a profile, you can make a work profile and a private profile, and I'm like, no. It's about the physical thing. Like, I don't want it in my vicinity when I'm not working. Like, it's that strict.
Plus, it lets me put this magnificent out of office message on Gmail, where it's like, I think, Hannah, you mentioned it before, you really like it. It's like, I'm off on vacation. I know I'm supposed to say that I'm not going to be near my computer, but I am. I'm just not going to look at anything. If you do need me, call me. If you don't have my number, I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait.
Nice. Here, I saw a meme.
Time, wasn't there, that we did when we rehearsed? I mean, when we rehearsed.
We're so rehearsed.
When we threw IDs at each other for 40 minutes and then talked shite for another 20.
But it was the sort of, was there a story time about somebody who'd go away and say they were like off?
Yeah. This is actually the story time I was trying to launch into. I saw a meme which was about the difference between Europeans and Americans going on holiday. So like the meme was like, Europeans on holiday. Hello, I am on holiday. Do not try to reach me. I will be back in September. And then Americans going on holiday are like, hello, I will be off this afternoon for 2 hours to undergo open heart surgery. In dire emergencies, you can still reach me at. I thought it was kind of funny. Like, it's I'm not sure to what extent it is representative, but either way, it reminded me of this post on LinkedIn that I read a few years ago already, where this lady was saying, I have told all of my colleagues that I love camping. Me and my husband love camping. We always go camping. We go to national parks. She was like, I don't love camping. I've never been camping. We go to a hotel, but if I tell my colleagues that I go camping, they assume that I won't have electronics with me, and they won't call or email me. And also, by the way, I'm terrified of being found out. I'm terrified that one day a colleague will join the team who actually loves camping, and people will realize that I'm a fraud and that I've been lying about this for years. And then frankly, some idiots had reposted that thing saying, yeah, this is the way, because she apparently thought it was like a really ballsy move to tell everyone, oh yeah, I go camping, so that they don't email me. And I was like, this is absolutely not the way. This lady is terrified all the time that people are going to find out that she doesn't love camping. The way is to respect that people need time off, and that you can't flip and call them when they're on a flipping holiday, no matter where they are. Even if their hobby is software development, and they take 3 weeks in July to sit and work on a pet project, you still can't call them and you still can't email them. That is the way.
Absolutely right. Hell yeah.
Well done.
Is there a thing about holding people to account the other way around? Like you are on holiday, like, please, like, don't contact us. It's the weekend. See your family, please.
To segue a little bit to maybe Hannah's point, when you're on leave for a longer period of time, like a pregnancy leave, There is a point both at the beginning before you're about to give birth where you are bored. And there's a period toward the end, for me at least, where we have, of course, mandatory parental leave here in the Netherlands. But towards the end, trust me, a baby, as fun as they are boring as shit, right? They don't really talk back. They don't engage.
So
your brain
I sit
that
here
much.
nodding as if I know. Like, I don't have one. I just always imagine that they're boring as shit.
But the thing of it is like, it is so destructive in that time to actually do the thing that Hannah mentioned, to go in and still do stuff at work, because you're off, but you're on, and you're on and you're off, but you're unreliably on. And for the people that have replaced you or are taking over some of your tasks, it is incredibly annoying to have somebody come in and do the things, because generally they'll hire someone in your place, right? This is such an extended period of time. They're not going to just cover it like a 2-week vacation. So there's somebody actually there that's taking on your tasks, and you're popping in every now and again and probably picking out the nice things, like the cherry on top things that you like to do and that they might like to do as well. And it's so annoying for people.
To be fair, I did not actually work. I just replied and like put hints on like where to look, because
It'll work.
it's
Yeah.
still work, but not actually doing anything.
But
like,
crucially,
No,
you made that decision, and you weren't
Yeah.
overstepping boundaries. People weren't seeing these sorts of.
no one
crazy,
forced
intense
me, and
things.
people actually told me to.
And that's
So
the
my manager with my second pregnancy actually sat me down and said, look, you need to go off and be 100% absent now, because this is causing me not to be able to onboard your replacement. Like, you need to stop doing anything. And I felt so bad, because I felt like I had to finish these things. And that obviously was like also a thing in my own brain, but like her sitting me down and saying, and she used some kind of actually camping excuse. She basically told me that the unemployment agency that pays off when people are on maternity leave here, the social credit bank, she told me, like, I can't get budget if you keep working, which is total bullshit, but it's what I needed to hear.
Oh wait, and that's not true at all. But did she tell
That's
you
not
that
true at
later
all.
that it wasn't true?
Yeah. So it's like, in
Ah.
order to pay my replacement, she basically told me she can't get budget for that unless I actually stopped working, because otherwise it looked like she had more capacity than she did, which was total bullshit. But she lied for my best will, which
That's
I think
kinda
is the same
nice.
as the camping excuse. And yeah, it's
Hey,
hard
I
to let
wanna-
go sometimes.
I want to jump on something that I see in the comments, because the lovely Daniel Billing, the lovely Dan is saying he just had a week away in Cyprus and no one bothered him at all, but it didn't stop him checking in on Teams channel to see if anything was happening. And I've got two thoughts on that. I've got two wolves in me. One says, okay, well, if it makes you feel better to know that nothing is going on, then by all means, like, check on Teams, because maybe that gives you more peace of mind. And the other wolf is like, no, because we have clearly created a culture where we can only feel good and relaxed if we are 100% sure that at work everything is going well. Like, shouldn't we be detached from work enough that we can relax even though the office is on fire and all of our colleagues are, no, just kidding, not on fire. I mean,
Well, some select few of them maybe, but
You would have put it on a timer before you left on holiday, would you?
anyway, okay, so what do you think on what do you think of that? Is that like, is it legit to check like that everything is going well if it makes you feel better, or should we be training ourselves to be like, I don't care?
well, I
I
think it
think it's all right.
depends on your job. Like I said, with the people management thing, I mean, I did dip back in when I came away from being at the beach. When we were back home, which we were for the second half, like now, this part of the vacation, I did turn everything on and just checked everything quickly. But again, that's because of that part of the job where I want to be sure that that doesn't block anyone. Like the testing stuff, I couldn't care less. Like that the building exploded. It's just
Right.
the people side of things. Yeah, I think that really does well make me check in. But that was just once, and like Dan said, it's just a quick check. Like everything's fine, great, I can stay off. But it's a weird one, because I'm sure that's not healthy.
There's a
Even going
downside as
forward.
well. Is if something does look like it's all burning and you do care about it, then you've kind of ruined your holiday unless you intervene. And at which point is that you can't really return from that point, particularly, can you?
Yeah.
But also, I mean, so if you're in a leadership position, leading teams, I think you've got to be a little bit careful about how you are perceived as well, because you could set the culture for that team or for that organization that they feel they're either expected to be contactable when they're off, or have to the day before they get back to work, that night, you come back off a camping holiday or something like that. And I love my camping holidays, genuinely I do actually go
Go camping.
Really? I come back on a Sunday afternoon, or evening, and I haven't showered for ages, or haven't showered properly, and I'm dirty, I'm stinky, all my tent's wet, all my crap's all over the place.
I love how much effort is going into describing this. Please
I
keep
want
going.
to do is switch on my computer to go answer all the emails or delete all the emails that I don't need to know about, because that way on Monday at 9 a.m. I am fully functional right then and there. People do that. And you've got to worry about that.
I don't like it.
I mean, that is their choice. And I'm going to say that is absolutely your choice. But you've got to, for me, I think as I've got to be aware that of both my mental health, but also how I'm perceived into my team. It's like, if I come back and I'm working before I'm working, that also sets the same sort of thing as I might as well have had my laptop and my phone with me at all times on my holiday, mightn't I? There's a sort of aspect there.
I had this I had it in a conversation not that long ago where somebody was saying, I said, oh, when's this chap coming back from his holiday? And they told me, and I said, oh, cool, I'll send him a message when they're back. And they go, oh no, you can just email him anyway. Like, he'll respond. He always just checks him. Like, I don't want to actually encourage that sort of.
Yeah.
and he's a senior person in the company, and I was like, I don't just because that's what he does, it doesn't mean it's something I want to encourage. Like I said, I just responded and said, well, I don't want to encourage that sort of behavior, because I want holidays to be sort of ring fenced and do those bits. So I'll write the message now, and I'll just schedule it to send through one of those lovely apps that does that sort of thing, so that I've remembered to do the thing, but I haven't disturb them. And even if they do check their stuff, I don't want to be someone that's contributing to that sort of whole culture of I must respond straight away, or just because I've historically done those sorts of things. I think you've got to sort of say that goes beyond my boundaries. And to your point, Shay, about setting examples and stuff, even if it's somebody who's senior to you.
Weirdly, there's a status thing again about the whole, like, look, I was missed thing to the pile up of emails. So there's this group of people that when they come back, they very groaningly but very obviously will tell you, I have more than 1,000 emails in my inbox. I was only gone 3 days.
Fuck off and fuck off. That's my reply.
I mean, I'm Dutch, I'm direct. I always reply, wow, that's some bad management on your part. Like, I detest those types of comments. I will burn you to the ground.
Nice.
I've got so many emails. I may as well not have gone away on holiday.
Yeah.
So
you've been away for 2 weeks, and we've actually been doing the actual work.
The tiny violin.
We've got a thing in our team that nobody explicitly agreed on. It just kind of seems to be the way that we all assume things work. When somebody comes back from holiday, like, we don't assume that they're gonna do any kind of like development work or whatever on the first day after they're back, because everybody's always like, yeah, I'll just be like reading my emails and like check it on Slack.
Yeah, catching up.
Yeah. And so we're just, I don't think anyone ever agreed on this, but it seems to be the way that we all assume it works. And
seriously, fuck you again with this healthy habit of your wonderful team. I'm getting so freaking annoyed.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry for having such a
that is so healthy. That is
for being in such a lovely team with all kinds of wonderful individuals. Like, I swear to God, like, the more I talk about it, the more I realize how lucky I am, because they're all fucking ace. So one of our developers went on like a couple of week holiday, and she was back yesterday, and I had really missed her because I think she's ace, and also like she's a really good developer. And so she was back, and I was like, oh, there's like this one ticket on the sprint backlog that like our product owner is getting really nervous about, because like he really wants to deliver the sprint, and he was like, oh, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it. And then so my, like, I can't call her my favorite developer, but she definitely is, got back. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, don't expect anything of her today, because like her first day back after a holiday. And then in the afternoon, I saw that ticket moving into like code review, and I was like, oh fuck, she's done it again.
She's done it again. Yeah. And then you're so fucking proud of them. It's like, you know, you didn't need to do this, but we're so glad you did. And I think that's wonderful. I want to pick up Soren's comment here. Like for most things in our job, it's like if we don't show up, that people don't actually die. It's not a real deadline. Exactly. And I'm reminded of this quote that I absolutely love and still have everywhere. They're not really deadlines. They're sad lines. Nobody actually dies. People are just sad that you missed.
I stole that from you. It's so good.
Oh man,
I love that
I've never
one.
heard that. Oh, that's so cool.
I haven't heard it either.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It wasn't mine. I heard it somewhere as well, and I love it. They're sad lines. No one actually dies.
I stole that from you and did a 99-second talk about it at Test Bash. That's how much I love and stole it.
That is too I love it. It
is so good. I must have heard it on a podcast or one of somebody else's talk sometime, and it's just so brilliant. And I don't understand why we keep using deadlines. We need a better word. We really do.
But you could go into things like talking about sprints and committing and all this other stuff as well.
Termination prerogatives. There we go.
But we need to be talking more about humans and people being away and planning for that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh mate. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, so isn't it a classic one where we've all been on those big long projects that multi-month, they stretch on, say from February to probably year end, December time. And the project manager comes in and he's like, yeah, we got 10 people, we got 10 months. That's this many people, this many months. Let's just hammer it in 100% utilized. Boom.
Then people get sick, people go on holiday, people have kids, go on parental.
Holidays. I mean, what the hell, man? And you know what gets me with this is, like, I've been on projects with project managers with 20 or 30 years experience. They've seen it before, and yet they do it every time, every single freaking time. What the fuck? Come on, seriously, people.
Well, it's part of both. I think the productivity bias that's seen as what is sort of the golden standard to be incredibly productive and to push your teams to do that. But it's also just this blinders thing that we have on when we start doing planning. I mean, everyone that's done any kind of plan for themselves to either get in shape or to finish a personal project, like maybe knitting some baby booties, not looking at myself at all here. Knows that those timelines slip like mad. So you even when you do it for yourself, you have this optimism bias that you'll get more done in the time that you have. But yeah, not taking it into account, just like the hard numbers of it is just plain stupid. I mean, there's just so much percentage that you can't count on people for. Yeah.
And yet when you start trying to put that into a project in an honest way, I don't know if any of you have done that. I mean, you know, Viola, you being a Scrum Master and doing some of the planning stuff in the past, when I've had to be in that role, and I've gone, right, okay, so if we plan on 10 people and they're going to be 60% utilized, so that's 60 person hours available per day, and they're like, whoa.
Whoa.
60%. That's a bit low, isn't it? What's the other 40%? Why can't
because we all get 110 every day?
Why aren't we getting people 100% of the time? I mean, did we hire the wrong people here?
And also, can we please start measuring in a different way than time, because that brings back a whole nother pet peeve. Because yes, some people can at 60% do a heck of a lot more than other people can at 60%.
You're speaking about some sort of ADHD memes now, where people are saying they managed to do 40 hours work in 4 hours, and and they spend the rest of the time just panicking and getting anxious about everything.
This equating productivity with time spent is madness, and it's so clearly not working. And we keep calculating to this kind of theme whenever we're doing any kind of planning, even with sprint commitments. It's like, well, you're off on holiday, so we're going to take you out of the sprint capacity. Like, you're gonna take me out of the sprint capacity? It's like,
But
just even the terminology.
They use it because it's easy. It's easy to measure the numbers. It's the same. It's the same problem we have with a lot of metrics in life. We choose the numbers that are easy, and everyone thinks they understand that numbers equal this thing, and it's the same for everybody. It's not the case, but the numbers are easy, and people are looking for that thing so they can judge you
by. Yeah. Can I segue us into a little bit of a different thing that I also hate about big projects and time management?
Yes.
Sure.
Generally, you'll have, let's say it's a typical project. So let's say we're migrating something and to somewhere else. So there's a deadline, it's pretty fixed. And you know what you're working towards. It's not this nebulous thing where you're not quite sure what you're going to build. Even though everyone knows the summer vacation's in the middle of that project and maybe the migration date is on like end of September, like somewhere around June, you start feeling this vibe within all the team members that things just start getting into this kind of crunch time. People start rushing, people get a little bit more annoyed, and you just generally sense that they're working towards this deadline, which is way off because it's in September. So there's like months and months of time, right? But they know that half the project's going to be off in the summer months, and they are pushing to get things done before that summer break. So it's not even a deadline, it's a fictional thing in everybody's heads where you sort of feel that people will be off and you preemptively try and get shit done. And it drives me mad. It's like an end of year rush in the middle of the year. It sucks. And the deadline always moves anyway. That's the other thing.
That's just and what are you meant to do? Oh, I'll just redo my holiday. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but generally it's more meetings because I try and get people together. It's generally also the really annoying stuff.
More meetings means more productivity, though. Don't forget. So
Can I do one more little tiny pet peeve? Because
go ahead.
Because we're talking about holidays, and I've got one tiny little holiday pet peeve. You know how like quite like July and August are big holiday months, at least in Europe, and especially I think people with children kind of have to take holidays during that time because the schools close it during those months. So like everybody goes on holiday in the summer. Which as soon as I left university, I was like, okay, now this is no longer a thing. I'm going to take a holiday whenever, which I feel is a very normal thing to do. And so I have started getting increasingly annoyed when people at work ask me, like, oh, hey, are you going on holiday this summer? And like in Dutch, there's this word that they use, and this is again going to be like a little Dutch party between Son and me. But they say, ga je nog op vakantie? And nog kind of means like,
are you still going on vacation?
Yeah, like if you haven't been yet, then surely you're going to go soon. And then they ask, or have you already been? And I'm like, yeah, I've already been in April, and I'm going to go again in September. But why are you asking me about that now? Like, I'm gonna ask people in October, like, so hey, are you going on a holiday? Because like to me it is equally random, and like I understand where it's coming from. Like these are big,
it's a similar zeitgeisty thing to the whole like fictional deadline. It's in people's heads and they know it's not real, but they forget when talking and working.
And yeah, but it's like, and I know it's a really stupid thing to get annoyed by, but like so many people at this point have asked me, and every time I have to be like, either say no, and it kills the conversation stone dead when they're just trying to make small talk. Actually, come to think of it, probably the correct way to answer is no, you, and then they tell me about their holiday. Maybe that's what I was meant to do all along.
Well, it depends. I think there is it can be so blatant that it is obviously a kind of a prejudice thing, I think, because I do remember after having both kids, people asked me when I came back, so what part-time percentage are you working now?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of any other question. So that would have been, are you still working full time in the same way? Are you still going on holiday? It's the same bias, I think, in that question. So yeah, I think you can choose. You can be really bitchy about it and say, no, I don't have kids. I'm sorry for you that you have to.
You just need to say, assumptions, make an ass out of you and me. That's the old
Someone is saying it sounds like the same reaction pattern when people ask, like, when are you getting married? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but like a holiday seems like such a small thing that I'm like, why am I getting annoyed about it? I don't know. And Steve, I'm gonna DM you something threatening.
Oh,
Whoa. If we're going to start doing threats, maybe we need to start rounding off.
Yeah,
okay.
probably.
Yeah.
Steve, you killed the stream.
Well, that escalated over the course of 45 minutes.
Yes.
So yeah, winding up. What do we do when we wind up? Because I am still all over the place. As I said, 1 foot is that my door's actually over there. So it's over
We
there.
tell people where they can find us, which will be on the Bahamas in a hammock. No,
damn
just
it.
kidding.
If only we had that written down somewhere. No, hey, everybody, thank you. So yeah, Fight Club rules, absolutely. So hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really, really, really pleased. And yeah, especially since we only announced this like 5 minutes ago because somebody's on holiday mode already. Yeah, thank you. We are 9 out of 10 testers, and you can find us on the socials at 9 out of 10 testers and on LinkedIn at 9 out of 10 testers. And Viola, if we needed to find you, where can we find you nowadays?
Okay, you know what? You can actually find me on LinkedIn because I'm trying to regain some online presence. Of course, Twitter is absolutely down. The
You mean
drain at
X?
this point. Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I refuse to call it that. So you can find me on LinkedIn, where I'm currently quite active, and also you can find me on Blue Sky. And I am again back as a Witch of the Test. I'm not very active on there yet. I need to like get all my follows and shit. But yeah. Come find me. Come say hi.
Yeah. Chris.
I am still on the dumpster fire of Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I joined Threads. I don't know why. I am on Blue Sky also, and Mastodon. I am Christovskio on all of those things. It's tough to spell, but you'll find me if you spell it right once. You'll find me in all the places.
Well, once you have it anywhere. Sana.
I am tech sanitized, still mostly on LinkedIn. I did get a Blue Sky invite, but I'm on holiday, so I'm not doing work stuff. And that'll be back on August 14th. And I'll pass it on to Hannah.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Hannah Slender. You can find me on LinkedIn mainly. I still check that even though I'm on parental leave because, as Sandra said, babies are fun sometimes, but they sleep a lot, and it's So please write to me. And also I'm on quite a lot of different Slack channels. You'll just find me by my name.
Yay! And I'm at 𝐂𝐿 on just about everywhere. I'm even on Blue Sky nowadays. Yay! That's where all the cool kids are hanging out. Yeah, also, so we don't have a topic for next month, but we will be back. We are trying to mix it up a bit on the days just because of our all personal availability, since we're changing jobs, roles, personal situations, etc., etc. So we will try and give you a bit more notice next time, and then
And also, seeing that we don't have a topic, feel free to suggest one.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
I mean,
What should we rant about?
Give us
Yes.
We do have
Everyone
a
in the
backlog,
comments, let us know.
but we'd love to chat. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, come and find us. And it just leaves it to say, is this off yet? Hang on.
Is this off yet?
Where's the button?
Fine.
Hang on.
Bye,
Are we there?
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi.